Here we have problem number 19 from week 2, 1D motion kinematics. So let's read the given values, and then we can start solving them. Okay, so problem number 19, right? So we have a distance which is total distance is 44 kilometers, okay, and that distance, half of it was covered d1, which is 22 kilometers, and then we have time 1, which is covered in d1. Then we have t2, which is covered, which is also d2, which is also 22 kilometers. And in the first d1, which is covered in the time, was covered with the average speed, which is v average 1, which is equal to 12 kilometer per hour, okay. Then the rest of it was, or the rest of it we don't know, so v average 2 we don't know, okay. Now if we take the whole distance, that whole distance can be covered with the v average, okay. V average total distance is can be covered by 6 kilometer per hour, okay. So how can we find that v average 2? Now first of all, we have a certain formula for such cases. The formula will be average speed is equal to the d total divided by total time, okay. What is the d total here? D total will be here d, which is 44 kilometers. What about time total? Time total will be time 1 plus time 2, correct? The time 1 is basically covered by the distance 1 divided by the v average 1, correct? What about time 2? The time 2 was covered by the d2 divided by the v average 2, okay. So that's it. So d1 over v average is equal to 22 kilometers divided by the v average was 12 kilometer per hour, okay. So you have divided. What about this one? This one will be 22 kilometers divided by the x, we don't know. So, and this v average, total v average for 44 kilometer is 6 kilometer per hour. So you have all the values, the rest of it is just mathematical things. Now next problem is problem number 20. Okay, let's look at the problem number 20. Let's read what is given there, okay. So world gas sprint accelerates the maximum in 3 seconds. He's a maintenance speed. The remaining of race finish with total time. What is the runner's average acceleration during the first 3 seconds? Okay. So then we have here problem number 20, okay. So in this problem, what we have a total distance d total, which is equal to the 100 meters, right? We know that the certain part, which is, let's call this one acceleration 1. The acceleration 1 was covered in a time of t1, which is 3 seconds, okay. The rest of it was moving with a constant velocity, so v constant. That means if you take this as a v final and this is v final, they are the same, okay. However, we have here v initial, which is equal to 0. Why? Because it started from the rest. Then time 1 So if it's time 1, then this will be d1, and then this will be d2, correct? And then we have here time 2. The total time for the whole things is equal 9.7 seconds. Okay, so we have to find what is the average, average 1. This is what we have to find. Okay, so how can we solve it? Let's think. So let's divide this thing into a couple of parts, okay? The first part, let's consider the d1, okay? So d1 in general, when we have acceleration, what we have formula v initial time 1 plus a1 t squared 1 divided by 2, correct? Since it started from the rest, this is equal to 0. So we end up with d1, which is equal a1 time 1 squared over 2. Okay, so let's plug the numbers. So a1 time 1 is what? 3 seconds, right? 3 squared over 2. Now you can do calculation later yourself. So if you do so, we'll have 4.5 a1. Okay, so d1 is equal 4.5 a1. Now, how can we find this v final? It's defined by the formula where v final, so we're still looking at the first part, okay? V final is equal v initial plus a1 time 1. Okay, so let's say that this is v final 1, okay? Then we also know that initial is 0, so therefore we end up with a1 t1. So v final 1 is equal, the time is 3 seconds, correct? So 3 seconds multiplied to the a1. We still don't know a1, so let's keep it like this one. Then we know that the rest of it, the d2 length was covered with constant speed. If it's covered with constant speed, we know that acceleration 2 is equal to 0 here, okay? If that's the case, then it will move with constant speed, correct? So therefore d2 is equal v final 1 multiplied to the t2, correct? So our v final 1 was equal to the 3a1 times time 2, correct? So how can we find time 2? We know that total time is equal t1 plus t2. So from there, t2 is equal t total minus t1. So if you put it 9.7 minus 3 gives you 6.7. Okay, so then we can say that our d2 is equal 3a1 multiplied time 2 will be 6.7. Okay. Okay, so if it's 6.7, 3a1, so if you multiply it should be 20.1 a1. Okay, so we got d2, we have d1. So then finally we know that d total is equal d1 plus d2, correct? d1 was equal to what? d1 was equal to 4.5 a1 plus d2 was equal to 20.1 a1, and that is equal to total distance is 100. Okay, so that's it. From there you just have to find what is a1.